Combat is hell. It weighs on you horrendously, especially over there, because you don't know if today's the day. I stayed in the Mass National Guard for 42 and a half years. I think what made me serve was, as I was a youngster growing up, my parents, especially my dad, brought me up to realize what America's all about. Patriotism, you stand for the national anthem, stand for the flag when it goes by you in a parade. My dad was as patriotic as they come, and I kind of like to think I've followed along with him.
The day that I married him, I also married the military. It was a normal life. He had his weekend drills, he had his summer camps, he had his job. It was normal, everyday life.
And it would be a normal life until one fateful day when Joe was 50 years old.
So in February of 2003, I went on to active duty and reported to the unit. And in May of 2003, I found myself in the middle of Iraq. I came home in 2004, and I reported down to my old unit in Quincy. I just wanted to say hi to everybody. And the battalion commander at the time, he says, "You know where we're going?" And I said, "Yes, I know." He says, "Would you consider going back?"
I knew that if he didn't go the second time with his unit, he could not live with himself. I knew I couldn't live with myself. After all, they were his boys that were going. And his boys couldn't go without him.
And there was 27 of us, and 5 of the team was down at Camp Bucca, which was a prison down south on the Kuwait-Iraqi border, and the rest of us were at Abu Ghraib prison. And on April 2nd, 2005, we were involved in an attack. They wanted to get inside the prison and free the detainees. And when the attack started, we were basically quiet time. I was in my bunk, sitting in my PT clothes, my laptop on, reading the newspaper. The attack started, and then information come down that weapons were breaking down on the wall, and we needed to get replacement weapons. While we were under fire, we moving vehicles around, getting weapons into the back of vehicles. The Marines and everybody on the wall were running low on ammunition. And they looked at me and they asked me if I had the keys to the ammunition point, and I said, "Yes, I do." And another one of the master sergeants stood up and he says, "I need a volunteer to go with Joe Young." And then when you look around and you see the faces of the 22, 23, 24-year-old kids, and you just see all this fear standing right in front of you. So we went out and stepped right into pure hell. Everything was just going off, going around us, explosions. I looked over to the left, you could see something that got blown up, and just fire just rolling and boiling up into the sky. And we made it down to the ammo point, and we picked up ammunition, and we just started going around the wall of the prison on the inside and just resupplying the troops with ammunition. This went on for probably 4 to 5 hours. But in the morning, the best part about it was we were there to see the sunrise.
Joe will tell you he was just doing his job. The truth is, his heroic actions that night saved countless lives and earned Joe the Bronze Star with Valor, an honor he shares with his father, who is also a Bronze Star recipient. But the horrors Joe saw have scarred him deeply.
When they had the bracelets, I asked if I could have one. The third one, Brian Romines, a good friend of mine, died right in front of me on a convoy in 2005.
I married the military. That goes along with the military. He went to war. What do you expect? He came back wounded. He didn't come back wounded physically. He came back wounded mentally. Joe was antsy, very antsy, couldn't sit still. You couldn't have a conversation with him. Driving down the road, it was like, whoa, and he wasn't very cautious driving. It was almost like he was dodging that imaginary bullet.
And people were making remarks that you're not you, you're not being yourself. And I go, nah, you're crazy, you know. And then last Veterans Day, the home-based program came on TV. And I sat there and said, that's me. So the following Monday, I made a phone call. I went to Boston maybe a week later on a Monday. And they notified me by the end of the week that, yeah, you're in the program.
He's a lot calmer. The first time we left home base together, we went down into Faneuil Marketplace. Went to Durgan Park for lunch, one of my favorite places. For the first time in 12 years. He did not sit with his back to the wall.
You got to get past the image that I'm a rough, tough guy, I'm a badass, I'm in the military. We don't show weakness. We're not wimps. Because it took me a while to figure this out too, that PTSD don't care who you are or what you were for a rank. It's just going to come up and slap you right side the head. From being a private E2 to a 4-star general, everybody can be affected by PTSD. You know, and my hope is that if this encourages one veteran to make a phone call, another veteran sees that I'm sitting here doing this program with you, it's okay. It's okay to reach out for help.